National CEO program is obviously a prestigious leadership program meant to develop Omani leaders. And having worked with national, international companies over the years, this is an opportunity for me to actually pause and get the learnings of where and how, just to find out how the world basically thinks with disruptive change of technology that is going on today. And as Omanis, business leaders today, and with the difficult economic environment that we're in because of the oil price, it has made us think of how we can develop ourselves as well as trying to take that change to our organizations in order for us to take the best learnings from outside. So that is one of the reasons that made me actually apply for the National CEO program. The learnings that we've had so far have been very intense in so many areas where I felt that I have weakness, and as such it had actually strengthened my capabilities, and that is actually the start of the journey for me. Some of the key learnings when we went to Lausanne and for the first module, and going to also Singapore on the third module, and getting to know the experience these business schools are putting together because of all the examples of multi-billion companies, international companies, as well as the fact that these business schools been monitoring the change of the global trend in terms of where the global is actually moving, whether it's on technology, whether it's disruptive change, whether it's the conventional way of doing business. It actually made us think differently, came back to Oman. And so I've tried as much as I can to apply those learnings to Al Baraka and to my team, and this is something that I have to carry on for many years to come. So it has been a very good journey for me so far. On the other hand as well, the network that we've developed as members of the NCP program had been quite positive in fact that we have a lot of different members and participants from all over Oman, from so many different sectors, and that had made us, think also of how other sectors are actually working and how they think and how they're willing to integrate the entire business sector in Oman, develop a common ground, for the whole thing. Actually, one of the things that actually stayed in my mind is the visit we did to Singapore, and the fact that seeing the actual experience of Singapore and how they developed over the years, it's just such an experience of how they developed themselves with almost zero natural resources, very tiny island. They're today at almost 400 billion GDP. And so for us, the setup of Singapore and how it had developed from early probably 50s and 60s and till the 21st century is an experience by itself, and seeing it live and how they talk about it. And the fact that actually struck me the most is that when you talk to people there, is that they're not satisfied with where they are today. And so that just gives you that type of how much they are pushing to always be at their best. And so that's something that we had to take back to Oman and say, listen, it just, no matter what you do, at the end of the day, you have to excel in it, and you have to do it better, and you have to think of ways of capitalizing on that particular work that you're doing, whether it's on fisheries, whether it's in mining, whether it's in oil and gas. It just has to be done right, and to build a solid business infrastructure for the country. I've actually started applying the learnings that I've had from the program basically on the organization that I have in Al Baraka. the way we conduct ourselves and the way we operate and the way we try to be customer-driven or customer-centric for that sense, and really look at it from a global context. As opposed to just looking at it from Al Baraka within Oman. It had actually the learnings that we've had from IMD had opened up our vision into how to probably be a global company regionally, and then basically escalate it further. And the drive for us to really create value for the country. Different participants on NCP program, all over Oman from different sectors. It makes you think, of the common ground that everybody is working towards, and that just basically tells you the fact that you're not isolated. You're part of a bigger mission, which is the national objective when it comes to the in-country value, when it comes to Omanization, when it talks about the disruptive change and how things can be done differently with the opportunities and the infrastructure the country has as of today.